some action.
Hey, I'm Larissa. Welcome to Goblins of Discord. This series on personality traps of the Enneagram types is an excerpt from a course I made over a year ago, and I've gotten a lot deeper on this subject. So I will be creating more content moving forward for the YouTube, but also the membership that I just launched, which you can join. And I'll be doing live calls and things of that nature. So there'll be a pathway for people to ask questions about this and how to work with this. And also, if you are like, damn, I'm living my self-fulfilling Enneagram hell prophecy, Larissa, what do I do? I need help right now. Well, you can also book calls with me to do coaching. And you can also get typed if you're like, I don't know, I'm just in hell. I don't know what hell, but I am in hell. You can book a typing call with me. And again, the membership is like the low tier, low financial investment way to also work with me, and you get discount on services. So I hope that you'll check out my brand new shiny little membership. And don't know why I'm doing all these voices, and hope that you enjoy this series and get something from it, or dig deeper into the whole depression since learning your type. Okay.
Type 7, the Maniac.
So sevens are known as the enthusiasts, the epicures, but they're also adventurers. They are gluttons. They are consumers. They are idea people. They are the friend that you have that always has some harebrained scheme going. Um, that's always up to where you're like, you don't see them for a week and then you hang out with them for coffee and they have some freaking insane story where you're like, how do these things even happen to you? It's not by accident. It is because of the seven is doing their type pattern and they are literally magnetizing things to them to give them what they need, which is an interesting story. So the type seven's fear is being trapped. Their trap is that they fear being trapped, deprived, missing out on, and that is actually what does keep them deprived, trapped, and missing out. So trapped can manifest in all kinds of different ways. It doesn't mean literally like trapped in a box like in the movie Buried or something. It means literally can be like shackled to responsibilities, obligations, going to a place that you don't want to go to, like, or you, it's like a seven might go on a trip and then they're with a partner who's like a 136 or something, who's like scheduled this whole itinerary, and they're gonna be like, no, 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 because that's trapped. Then they don't have the flexibility to go be spontaneous and get wild, and they don't want to be really hemmed in unless they'll commit to stuff, but it has to be something that they're excited by. It has to be getting them something. They don't want to just commit to something. If there's a possibility that something better could come along, I don't know if I'm gonna commit to that thing because it makes me feel trapped. It also manifests like the feeling of being trapped, like for me, anyways, manifests listening to people talk about boring shit. I feel like I'm being held hostage, and this is when I really noticed, because I for a long time I was like, how am I a seven? And then I started to be present with it, and it's like, oh no, it's this. Shut up. Oh my God. It's this feeling of being trapped. It's like, oh my goodness. And then what happens for the seven is this is how the pattern keeps recreating, is like, I got to get out of here. I got to get away from this. I got to go do something else. And then it's like never staying put in one place or being present means that there's like an impossibility for stability, satisfaction. Sevens aren't concerned with stability, but eventually they'll hit a wall where they're like, oh my God, my life is crazy. It's a mess. And that leads them to being then trapped in like more than just an emotional way. It leads to them being trapped in like a literal physical way, usually. So, in their pursuit to escape all things mundane, arduous, obligatory, boring, chasing every shiny object and possibility that catches their fancy, rather, they often end up running out of road. This can result in their worst case hell world nightmare scenario. No possibilities, no shiny objects, just a desolate wasteland of ruin and regret. No hope, no future. So sevens are future oriented. It's another thing with sevens is like they're not living in the present. They're living in the future. The next idea, the next party, the next thing, the next like invention, the next thing they want to research, the next place they want to go. It's like constant, constant, constant. And then as soon as they acquire that thing, they're on to the next thing. It's like, and it's that lack of appreciation and presence and gratitude and fully soaking in it that is the trap. It is the trap. So sevens use the vice of gluttony to assuage the fear of missing out or being deprived, whether this is buying a lot of like useless shit, being friends with everybody, going to and doing all the things, jack of all trades, master of none, getting lost in planning. Like a seven might actually just plan, and not actually follow through on anything because they get high on the possibility. And then as soon as it comes to actualizing and is showing up the day to day, doing the emails, making the business, filing the taxes, they're like over it. So because of this, they never actually end up. It's like almost like the assertive version of the withdrawn problem is that they do so many things that they don't actualize. So, and then because of that, they never feel happy or satisfied because they're never living in the present. Like I said, it's like they're always focused on the future, the greener pastures, what could be, not what is. They fail to appreciate what is in front of them. So, yeah, it's a bottomless pit is the problem. The problem will never be solved. You will never be satiated. You will never find the thing that fixes everything. You will never find like the thing that gives you happiness because that's not actually what's happening here. And in the midnight hour, they'll cry, more, 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 more. So, because sevens are frustration assertive types, there's this constant nagging sense that something better is always on the horizon. And this happens in relationships, jobs, creative stuff, friendships. Um, what they have is never quite right. It's the frustration way. It's the Goldilocks thing. It's too hot, it's too cold. But the problem is that the seven needs to actually just realize there is something that is just, it is quite right. But they have to get in touch with their heart and what they really want in order to get that just right oatmeal. And they have to be patient while it gets to that temperature. And the other thing is too is like nothing is ever enough. And that also manifests like in ways where it's like I don't know enough. I need to take another course. I need to read another book. I need to have another experience. I need to date another person. I need to study this other thing. It's just it, especially because it's a head type, like it might be different depending on the instincts. Like at like a self-pres seven might be more experience oriented. But like a social head type, for example, like a social seven might be very hooked into learning. Um, and it's their profound lack of gratitude for what is and this desperation for what could be that keeps them from truly anchoring in any meaningful connections, creations, or self awareness. They are hummingbirds, flitting from feeder to feeder, frogs jumping from lily pad to lily pad until there's nothing left to feast on, nothing left to jump to, nowhere left to go. And then it's like this profound horror sets in. What have I done? So sevens are positive types, and so that means there is like a lot of sevens don't relate to uh, the positive notion, and I'm one of them because it's not we're not overly positive. Actually, a lot of us are quite cynical or rude or just like frank about the state of the world kind of thing. But the positivity shows up in not wanting to be dragged down by other people's gloom. Basically, like you can still sevens can still be like good friends and be aware of bad shit that's going on, but they're gonna start to reframe it. So it's like they'll get anxious, they'll start seeing I'm gonna make it a party. It's the end of the world, so let's have a party. Which is what makes them great too. Seven's fear of deprivation leads to the vice of gluttony, which keeps them forever chasing their next high. And it never being present, again, like I said, never being satisfied. This pattern of escapism and dissatisfaction is what leads to like it's what leads to the trap, and that trap is like a never-ending circle of trapped. I'm trapped. It's not good enough. It's not enough. I don't have enough. It's never enough. I'm not satisfied. I need to be satisfied. This will be the thing, this novel thing. It's like this constant. It's why a lot of sevens too, I think, seem really manic, and ADHD. They fit the archetype because it is like that hummingbird thing. It's like sevens usually know a lot about, like they know enough details about a lot of things that they can sort of create this sort of interesting, intriguing map of things, but they don't go deeply. They might have one or two specific things that they do zero in on, if they're line to fiving, but yeah, often you can hang out with the seven and 3 months later they're on to something else. It's like, what are you even doing? So the obvious solution to this for sevens is that they have to be grateful. They have to settle. They have to be present with what they already have. They have to be okay with what they don't have. They have to check in with themselves. Do I actually want this? Do I actually need this? Do I like, do I just have FOMO? And FOMO isn't just like fear of missing out, like in a party way, like oh no, I'm gonna miss out, like I don't get to be included in this thing. It can also show up in like, if I don't know this thing, then like I don't know enough, like it's the end of the world, I need to know this thing. This thing is going to be key to, like, especially when they really like wowed out in their head center, especially if it's like seven wing six, probably it's like this is going to be the thing. Oops. So the seven has to, like, some in a similar way to six, it's like you already know enough. Trust yourself. Sevens trust themselves in a different way. Sixes get self doubt and outsource, and sevens outsource in a different way where it's like a consumption, it's inhalation, it's eater of worlds, it's devourer of worlds, it's this constant inhaling. And there's a stereotype about sevens being empty, which I don't subscribe to personally. So sevens just have, like, it's literally just a practice with patience, being present and being okay. This isn't what I want, but here's what I like about this actually. Here's what I'm grateful for. Wow, I'm really actually lucky when I think about it. Holy shit. And also finding those novelties, those curiosities within these mundane realities. So back to the mundane thing, like four, it's a frustration thing. Um, it doesn't feel right. It's not good enough. Feels like settling. I get it. I'm a seven with a four. I more than get it. And it can feel like an insult on some level to stay put and be like, this is how it is for you. But the thing is, if you don't do that, you will you'll be on the hamster wheel. The same way the three's on the hamster wheel with keeping up with the Joneses. Sevens are on a hamster wheel with their own fucking insatiable curiosity and novelty seeking. It's and it spins out of control until you end up with nothing left. No hope, can't hold a job, burned all the bridges, um screwed everybody you know, maybe, and then you know when to screw. I don't know, depends on your instincts, right? You've eaten all the cake and now you're 400 pounds. It's like collecting all these things can actually be a self-soothing thing in some level, probably more so with a nine fix, but it's like this constant need for doing, learning, focus, and it's what you're actually doing is escaping yourself. What you're actually doing is not being present with your feelings, probably. And you might be a seven that feels like, I am pretty in touch with my feelings, actually. I'm not scared to be negative. I cry all the time. There's probably something, though, that you're not allowing yourself to feel. There's probably something that you are escaping. I mean, we all are, but the way sevens do it is way more active and and it will catch up with you eventually. It's like it's the shadow. It gets bigger and bigger. The more you push it down, repress it, run away from it, escape it, deny it, it gets bigger and bigger until finally it fucking catches up with you. So you really want to, if you're a seven and you catch yourself in these moments of and now I'm gonna buy a new thing and I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna do this, and it's like catch yourself. Catch yourself. Take a nice deep breath. I'm great. I'm good. Actually, I'm really good. Actually, if I think about it, I have about 20 dresses over there that I haven't worn. Actually, over there, I have about 20 classes that I never finished watching the videos for. I have all these books I still haven't read. I have all these hobbies that I picked up and left. Now I have like a room full of half finished art projects, or however this comes up for you. It could be partners, it could be literally like now I'm juggling four girlfriends or something. Can you just be okay with what you have? Be okay with what you have. And not only that, but be grateful. Be grateful. Look at what you have and say, thank you. I asked for this and I have it, and appreciate it. And what happens with that is, and we will get into this later, but this is a manifestation thing. You must be grateful for what you have in order to manifest more. If you are never present or appreciative, expressing gratitude for what you have, you're not going to be able to manifest more. You will just get empty hits, and eventually those run out.